with that being said, let's talk about what it means to be a real tough man.
That's a good
But
segue. Good
Great
segue.
segue.
Yeah, this one, I don't know. You want to take it away? This was
Yeah, I guess sure. Yeah, it's the title here. It's fake toughness versus the real thing. People who are really tough rarely feel the need to show it. So let's get into that. So let's say an observation: the strongest men I know, guys who deadlift over 500 pounds, run 4-minute for the mile, run a discus hundreds of feet, or run ultra marathons, tend to be caring, considerate, and generally calm dudes. The guys I know who want to be strong and tough, but who are not, tend to be loud, defensive, and overly proud. Seems pretty accurate, right? So it says, toughness isn't walking around with your chest puffed out trying to intimidate. It's making the right decision under uncertainty and distress.
So let me interject.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know the reset the clock hashtag, the meme?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I'm going straight for the throat
Do
on this
it.
one.
What is it? I don't know.
So it's a meme that represents the how many days it's been since a male feminist assaulted a woman.
Oh, okay.
And this actually, so I'm going right for it. It plays right into this, that I'm thinking about a regular guy
Okay.
who is not interested in these like screechy woke feminist types. He's calm. He's rational. He
Yep.
knows he's good at. He's confident. He can run a 4-minute mile. He can throw a discus hundreds of feet, and he's not interested in playing these weird games, pandering to some woman who's screeching in his face.
Exactly.
But the male feminists,
That's it.
they're the chest puffing white knights.
They need to prove something.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
gotta show what they've got.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so there's the quote: toughness isn't walking around with your chest puffed out, trying to intimidate. It's making the right decision under uncertainty and distress. Strength isn't yelling and shouting. It's having the inner resources to navigate storms.
I like that a lot.
Here, look at this. They actually break it down. Now more than ever, it seems we are in desperate need of new masculinity. Just imagine if we started to raise our sons with the following core values. I'm going to read through them first before I describe them.
Yeah.
Wisdom, real toughness, vulnerability, humility, authentic self-security.
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah. Wisdom, allowing yourself to be open to and shaped by experience, not being scared of change and not being scared to change.
Wonderful.
Real toughness, composure, clear-headedness, and stability in the midst of uncertainty, not to be confused with machismo, acts of strength. Now hold on. Weren't we just told by the American psychologist or whatever that
The APA, yeah.
APA that stoicism is like a mental disorder or something?
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
Oh my gosh.
Being calm and clear-headed, rational, is considered toxic.
Now hold on. Now the writer actually was talking about guys, but I don't even know if this is necessarily about men in general, because this can apply to women also.
Right.
You know, it's like you can be a tough human, you know, and a weak human, and these still apply, you know, to across the board. You know,
Totally.
don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at this, real vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Putting yourself out there, all of it, even and perhaps especially the imperfections and flaws that make you human. I totally respect that.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I think people have been saying good things about me, because I'll be like, oh man, I was totally wrong about 2018. I got no excuse for that.
Yep.
What am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to pretend like I'm invincible?
Yeah.
I'm always right? That's ridiculous.
Or ignore it.
How many people do?
Yeah.
You know what really bugs me? There are some progressives on YouTube I talk to all the time, and I've reached out to one with like, hey, man, I think you got this one wrong, and they refuse to accept it, refuse to admit it, just ignore it. I absolutely, like, I get messages, and they're like, hey, Tim, I think you're wrong about this. I'll be like, oh, was I? And I'll go in immediately and be like, hey, update, correction, I may have been wrong about this.
Yeah.
I really don't see the issue with accepting that you're not perfect.
I don't get it either.
But it's the fake tough guys who think
Yep.
they're always right.
Mm-hmm.
Humility,
Prove, yeah.
which brings me to humility.
Humility. Yep. Exactly.
Knowing what you don't know, which for almost all of us is the vast majority of everything. Exactly. Understanding that your view of the world is merely one of billions, being curious instead of narrow, open instead of closed. You know what the problem is? All of these things have been described as toxic masculinity.
All of them.
dude.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They want... I had that... who was the guy here who's the doctor?
Sean Smith.
Sean Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, great
Oh,
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good episode.
And it's like, he was talking about the importance of stoicism and being calm and clear-headed.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're driving in your car with your wife and your kids and you crash and you've got to like get out and fix the car,
Right.
you have to be calm. You can't break down. You've got to make sure that you can be a good leader so that your family is also not freaking out and they're calm.
Exactly.
But imagine what they want for you. Like when they say it's toxic masculinity, they want the husband and the wife to start crying and doing nothing. The men must emote more.
Then he would just be sympathizing with his wife, I guess. I guess that's what they're going for.
Pander.
Yeah.
Pander to the woman. Tell her whatever she wants to hear.
Oh,
Is that-
dude. It's not a good strategy.
It doesn't sound appealing to be around any
No.
person like that, man or woman.
No.
I think the big issue here actually is we get to the root of this, and the real issue is don't be plastic. Like, be a real person.
Yeah.
Just be chill.
Yeah.
Don't pretend. Don't make things up. Say what you mean what you say.
And some people show that side of themselves and very quickly revert to plastic.
Yeah, it's
Right.
challenging.
Yeah, it is. It's like, there's people get triggered or uncomfortable or embarrassed and instantly, try to, squash it instead of like, really exploring it. Really. It's like, what is going through my brain right now? What is happening? Asking that about themselves.
You got to
It's
learn to let it
important.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many.
Maybe not even just let it go, but understand it. You
Yes.
got to learn to understand it.
Understand
If something's
yourself.
happening, you should delve into that more, and try to figure out what's going on.
Well, check this out. This is an interesting. This is a report, I guess, from the American Council of Science and Health.
Oh.
Testosterone may make men more honest. This is really interesting. They say testosterone does a lot of different things for men. It masculinizes the body, boosts the sex drive, and contributes to hair loss. Now researchers think it may also make men more honest. In recent years, there has been an interest in determining how our hormones affect our economic behavior, such as gambling and financial risk taking. The financial industry is dominated by men. And if testosterone influences decision making, this potentially has a profound implication for the national economy. Paradoxically, testosterone promotes pro-social behaviors in some circumstances and anti-social behaviors in others. The reason for this aren't entirely clear, but it may involve a man's desire to increase his social status. Previous research shows that testosterone may actually make a man a fairer negotiator. To investigate the phenomena further, a team of researchers administered testosterone gels to 124 college-age male volunteers and placebo gels to 118. They were then given a die and told to roll it. And whatever number came up was the amount of money they were to receive for participating in the experiment. Because they rolled the die in private, they could cheat by reporting a higher value than they actually rolled. The authors hypothesized that the testosterone group would be more honest. The results showed that both groups cheated, but the placebo group cheated more, which was consistent with the team's hypothesis.
Interesting.
Whoa. Back to the male feminists. Low testosterone guys lying to women to try and get laid. Why am I not
That
surprised?
is really interesting.
It's a weird thing.
Fake toughness, no testosterone.
Lying and cheating behind the scenes.
Yeah.
These people are made for each other. But what can a guy do to, I guess, boost their testosterone if they are a soy boy?
You got to
You
work
know?
out.
Not a soy bro.
Yeah.
You got to work out.
Yeah. Gotta
Exercise,
help.
driven, experience.
Yeah.
Find role models that you want to be
I think about the Try guys, the BuzzFeed dudes who took the testosterone test and they were like 30% of average testosterone, some ridiculously low number.
Super low.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of data here that I'm not going to, get into, but they show like the results of what people were rolling. And I guess they determined that people were cheating because the proportions made no sense based on so if you roll the die a certain number of times, you should expect a certain percentage of results, but they were skewing high, meaning people were giving higher numbers so they can get paid more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
They say the fact that two different studies arrived at the same conclusion, that testosterone appears to make men more honest, suggests the effect is real. However, the failure of the current study, which was far larger than the previous study to find its own significant result, further suggests the testosterone effect on honesty is rather small. Well, in the long run, I think it's kind of obvious. If that was the correlation, I'm not entirely sure, but it's obvious that guys who are sure of themselves, who are confident,
Exactly.
have no reason to lie.
Right. They know what they're doing. They know what their path is. They're comfortable. It's like if you're comfortable, when you lie, you have to remember that, and it changes. And then it adds an uncomfortableness to whatever environment you're in. So if you are telling the truth, it's really simple. It's really easy.
But I also wonder if it has something to do with how much you care. Right? There's kind of a catch-22 where when I don't know in what whatever. Let me start over. When talking about young guys who are trying to hook up with women,
Okay.
they say that desperate guys never stand a chance, right? Because they come on too strong. They're very obviously desperate. But then you end up with a dude who's never gotten laid, becoming more and more increasingly desperate and awkward, whereas the dudes who get laid very easily become less desperate and they don't care. So now you have a bunch of guys who are aloof and confident, like, I can get whatever I want whenever I want, I don't care. And so now it's more attractive that they're aloof and kind of on their own, whereas the desperate guys increasingly, struggle with it. So it's kind of like, I guess the point I'm trying to make is dudes who are confident and tough and high testosterone don't need to try as hard. It's just, it's coming to them naturally, which also makes them more confident and more successful. It's kind of like there's two paths. And if you fall into the depreciative path, if you're going negative, it's going to be worse until you can course correct and get out of that pitfall.
Yeah, if you ever can.
Yeah.
If you ever can. You might end up as one of these predatory male feminists pretending to actually care about stupid causes that no one actually cares about because you're a liar just desperately trying to get laid.
Yep.
It's almost like a feedback loop. If you can't do it, you're going to feel like a failure. If you feel like a failure, you'll never be appealing, and then you'll never manage.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
And then you'll
No.
find out that you ended up as a male feminist. And like, who would want to be one of these people in a room full of people that they're making fun of you, and you're just like, yeah, like it's if these guys who are sitting in rooms and the women are like, men are awful, and the male feminist goes, aren't they? Why would you sit there and take that?
Yeah.
Defend yourself.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
think they respect you when you sit there and do that?
I don't get it.
It's not honest.
Nope, it's not.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like,
some of
do
these
you not even enjoy living? Do
Yeah.
you not enjoy yourself?
It's something you can't change.
Self-
Some people
Flagellation.
don't.
Yeah.
I'm not. Not trying to like make light on that, but it's sad.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.